Somehow it's the end of summer. Not sure how, time has lost all meaning. But I do know that we should squeeze every last bit that we can get out of it. Specifically, summer produce. And yes, I do mean physically squeeze. Today on Drink Up Cocktails. So, today we're going to be making tomato water martinis. How do you get the tomato water, you may ask? By squeezing tomatoes. You could also leave them out, cut up, salted, until all the water drains out, but where's the fun in that? As with most of my drinks, I like to have an element of violence. So, today we're going to be fully squeezing a bunch of tomatoes. What you're going to need is vodka or gin. Just make sure that it's a London dry gin. You might not want any notes of lavender or rose with your tomatoes, or maybe you do. I don't know your life. Some dry vermouth, although that is optional. You can just make it with vodka and tomato if you want. You do you. And then, of course, some fresh tomatoes. I would say the heirloom kind because I'm bougie and they're usually delicious. You're just going to need to core it, which is just take out that woody center. I also have some backup tomatoes, just in case, since this one's a little smaller than normal. I also have a couple basil leaves, some salt and pepper, and then a shaker with ice. And that's all you need. So let's get started. We're going to do half an ounce of dry vermouth. You definitely don't want to use sweet, and again, you can leave it out entirely. I would substitute it with some ice water though, just to make sure that you open up the flavors in the tomato. We're also going to need 1.5 ounces of vodka. Conveniently, that's all that I have in here. Just pour that right in. So overall, it's 2 ounces of booze, or 1.5 ounces of vodka and 1/2 ounce of water if you're not using a dry vermouth. Now that's going into a shaker with ice. You're going to do one quick shake or grind of pepper, a pinch of salt. I like using the flakier salt just because I think it is prettier and disintegrates better. And then you have your tomato. So you've cored the center of it. So you have a nice donut style tomato. And then just because I have tiny baby hands, I'm going to cut this in half, or just cut a hole in it. And you can see the juice already pouring out. So you're just going to take it in your tiny baby hands, if you're me, and just squeeze it. Just get a nice tomato squeeze. Oh gosh, it may squirt on you. Make sure to wear protective eyewear. Squeeze all you can out of the tomato. You know, you could pretend it's Pamplona and you've made it to a nice scenic European vacation, or you can just scream at the tomatoes or sort of zone out. Depends on how your week went, really. And then I'm just going to squeeze one of these tiny ones too. Because I wanted to see where it would go. Don't try that at home. And we're throwing the skins and the pulp in the shaker as well. Okay. Now we're going to put the top on. Probably make sure you have a cloth to clean up all of the seeds that you've gotten everywhere. And you're going to shake. You're going to shake it a little longer than average because you want that ice to dilute. If you added some water, you can do 10 seconds. If you didn't, I would do about 20 seconds, 25 seconds, just because this is a lot of booze in one drink, as martinis typically are. And you want to give the tomatoes a chance to express that extra juice in there. So that should be enough. Okay. Now, oh man, I really got seeds everywhere. Now, I like to take a little extra salt and put it in the bottom of my glass. Just because I think summer tomatoes with salt are the best thing ever. You could rim your glass, but I'm lazy. Now we're going to take some basil. I have 2 leaves. We're just going to do a slap to express the oils, and we're going to rub them around the inside of the glass. That means when you take a sip, you'll get that green, summery basil vibe. And then I'm just going to throw them in the bottom with the salt. You could pour it right from the shaker, but I like to use a strainer like this. mostly because I don't like drinking seeds. And as you can tell from when I exploded the tomatoes, there's a lot of seeds. So I'm just going to pour it through this. It's totally optional. Then you're just going to pour it into the glass. You may need to move the shaker around a little bit just because the pulp will try to get through as well. Look at that beautiful heirloom tomato situation. Of course, you know, if you use different colored tomatoes, it's going to make a different colored drink. It might be totally clear, or typically it's like a light pinkish color. But this one, because it was a beautiful yellow tomato, obviously the drink is going to be that color as well. So we're going to get all the juice out of there that we can. Put that down to clean up later. I'm going to do another garnish of some tiny leaves from the basil, and I'm going to use a cocktail onion because I like to make my drink a salad. Awesome. And then close these up and take a sip. Oh my gosh, it tastes like liquid tomatoes, which is, can I bathe in that? Is that good for your skin? I don't know. But it tastes like it is. Anyway, drink up, eat your veggies, or drink them, and I'll see you next week. Damn, that's good. That's really fucking good. If you liked what you saw today, or it just makes you extremely angry, please like and subscribe right there. Right there. Right there. Thanks. Normal. You're gonna need a cat who jumps on and tries to eat your tomatoes.